If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Hogwarts Legacy is a 2023 action role-playing game developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Bros. Games under its Portkey Games label. It is part of the Wizarding World franchise, taking place a century prior to the Harry Potter novels. The player controls a student enrolled into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, who learns to wield an array of magical abilities and objects. With the assistance of fellow students and professors, the protagonist embarks on a journey to unearth an ancient secret concealed within the Wizarding world. Following the acquisition by Warner Bros. In 2017, Hogwarts Legacy marks the first release from Avalanche unrelated to Disney Interactive Studios and its products. Development commenced in 2018, while pre-release game footage was leaked onto the internet in the same year. The storyline was designed to take place in a period untouched by establishing Wizarding World characters, offering the player an opportunity to immerse themselves in their own distinct universe. Hogwarts Legacy garnered significant anticipation upon its announcement in 2020. Prior to its release, it attracted controversy due to Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling's views on transgender people and accusations of including anti-Semitic tropes, leading to calls for a boycott. The game was criticized for basing the story on the Goblin Rebellion era of the Wizarding World history, with the game storyline focusing on the player suppressing a Goblin Rebellion. The Wizarding World lore surrounding goblins had previously been accused of being based on anti-Semitic tropes. The criticism stemmed from the belief that the game's core message was that a minority goblin group should be considered the enemy for rebelling against the oppressor and fighting for freedom and equal rights. The portrayal of goblins in both the game and the larger Harry Potter universe was defended by some. The non-governmental organization Campaign Against Anti-Semitism argued that the depiction is consistent with how goblins have been portrayed in Western literature over centuries and is not evidence of malice on the part of contemporary artists. They would also commend Rowling for her tireless efforts in defending the Jewish community. In an exchange with the Times of Israel, Travis Northup of IGN disagreed that the game continued anti-Semitic tropes. He pointed out that the story did not feature a group of goblins controlling banks or attempting to seize power, but rather focused on a single goblin who rebelled against the Wizarding World. Jewish comedian and political commentator Jon Stewart, who was previously reported by several media outlets to have made same accusations, reported the next day that he was misrepresented and that he did not think the goblins' portrayal in Harry Potter or J.K. Rowling herself were anti-Semitic. Rowling's controversial views on transgender people, however, did affect the game. Her detractors called for a boycott as a means of showing solidarity with the transgender community and to impede the financial benefits she would receive from its release. Others felt that Hogwarts Legacy could be separated from the views of the universe's curator. Several weeks before the launch, actor Sebastian Croft, who voiced the protagonist, distanced himself from Rowling's views. While some called for the boycott of the game, the more conservative fans said that the game had beaten cancel culture, and the casting of transgender actor Rebecca Root as Serona Ryan was seen as insincere, and commented that the character added nothing substantial and was solely created to avert criticism. Following some delays, it was released finally on 10th of February 2023 for PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox Series XS, and on the 5th of May 2023 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and November 14th 2023 for Nintendo Switch. The early access period of Hogwarts Legacy resulted in record-breaking viewership on streaming platform Twitch, making it the most watched single-player game of all time on the platform. Within 2 weeks, Hogwarts Legacy sold more than 12 million copies and generated $850 million in global sales revenue. As of the 5th of May 2023, its revenue reached $1 billion, and by the beginning of 2024, global sales had totaled 24 million copies. Hogwarts Legacy received praise for its combat, well-designed characters, variety of content, and faithfulness to the source material, but criticism for its lack of innovation as an open-world game and technical problems. It received various accolades, including nominations for 2 DICE awards, a Grammy Award for its soundtrack, and 2 BAFTA Game Awards. The story is set in the late 1800s, taking place in several Wizarding World locations, such as Hogwarts Castle, Hogsmeade, and the Scottish Highlands. The player takes on the role of a student voiced by either Sebastian Croft or Amelia Gethling. They start their studies at the Hogwarts in the 5th year. The player character possesses the power to control mysterious ancient magic and holds a key to an ancient secret that threatens the stability of the Wizarding World. The mission is to discover the reasons behind the resurgence of this forgotten magic and those who are trying to harness its power. The player encounters various characters, with the most relevant being their professors and fellow students. Professor Eleazar Fig, a wizard who teaches magic theory at Hogwarts, is a central ally throughout the player's adventures. Other characters the protagonist meets include Hogwarts students Amit Thakkar, voiced by Asif Ali, and Everett Clopton, voiced by Luke Youngblood. Professors Onai, voiced by Candace Kane, as well as Headmaster Phineas Nigellus Black, voiced by Simon Pegg, and Professor Matilda Weasley, voiced by Leslie Nichol. The protagonist is also able to build friendships with fellow students Natsai Onai, Poppy Sweeting, and Sebastian Sello, who take part in the protagonist's journey as companion characters. Antagonists include Rangrock, the leader of the Goblin Rebellion, and Victor Rookwood, the leader of the group of Dark Wizards. Now this is one of those games that I was terribly excited to play. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm one of the biggest Harry Potter fans of all time, but I do appreciate the wizarding world and what J.K. Rowling has created here. I think one of my first disappointments with the game is that there isn't really any links towards the Harry Potter series. Rather, the game is set 100 years prior. And the only real mention of any reference to the Harry Potter series is Professor Weasley, who obviously is a descendant of the Weasley families in Potter. But look, that aside, I found the magic and the overall ability to capture the essence of the magical world that Rowling has created absolutely on point. The visuals and graphics are absolutely stunning. And learning the different magic spells, being taught how to fly on your broom, looking into the pensive, or even travelling through Gringotts and the various rooms and halls of the fantastic Hogwarts is just awe-inspiring and absolutely stunning. Hogsmeade as well is absolutely perfect as you now go about shopping and finding different spells and trinkets in order to progress in the game. As I mentioned earlier, the level of the castle's detail is absolutely stunning, and I thoroughly enjoyed the atmosphere and visual presentation, and the game's design is just massive. Particularly initially when you just start, as it can take a lot of time to travel between the different locations. Thank goodness for Floo powder or as fast travel within this game, otherwise it would take forever to get around. Look, if you're a fan of Harry Potter or the Fantastic Beasts franchise, then this is a must for you. There's just so many little references, little details that a true fan would really pick up upon and really enjoy and notice. I did, however, find the story very repetitive and a bit long as well, and the main antagonist here, Ranrock, just falls somewhat flat. I could see there could have been a good story within this backdrop, but unfortunately the writers really don't bring him to life with absolute perfection. The story sort of meanders along, and sometimes I actually found some of the side missions more interesting. Also now, the choice to give the player to create their own protagonist I thought was silly. You can name them whatever you like. I would have rather a character be created and you take them on and take this journey with them. Rather, this sort of feels like the creators were indecisive and didn't want to back their story too heavily, so rather let the gamer now decide who they want to play as and create their own character from top to bottom. I just didn't like this choice and found it indecisive and left me feeling lack of investment within my main protagonist that I have to play as. I love the gameplay in terms of the wizarding duels, and how you learn different techniques and move forward, and also the personalised room of requirement was quite a special touch. The music is also stunning, and I was impressed by some of the quests and puzzles. I do though think the game is a little bit too large in scale, and maybe would have been better if it was more concise and to the point. Look, if I were to rate this game purely on graphics, it would get a good rating, but unfortunately its narrative and choice of not a main protagonist lets it down. If you're a fan of the Harry Potter wizarding world, then I think this will definitely be one for you, as it will tick all the boxes in terms of fan service. The gameplay and combat are excellent and well put forward, but for me it really is the narrative that lets me down. You don't invest in the characters, and the story is somewhat convoluted with poor antagonists. For a game that promised so much, I do feel somewhat let down, albeit that I enjoyed most of it. Hogwarts Legacy gets an 8.5 out of 10.